Hey y'all, it's Akila right here, and today I am going to be doing a story time on what happened to me in Miami this past weekend.
I like to sit back and watch a tree grow. I like the way they think it's all growth, not an ego. I wish that you could speak to these moms.
So if you're new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload new videos, and also hit the subscribe button. So for those of you who don't know, I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and so I haven't really been out on the scene, like, you know, in clubs and stuff since like December, like before December. And ooh, I kicked the tripod, but I forgot how wild it was out there. I'm like, oh gosh. But okay, so it's been a while since I've been out there, and normally I am to myself. I'll go out to get groceries, and now I'm starting to like get out more by like finding out new things to do around me. But for the most part, I'm to myself or with my family, or like playing with my nephew, playing ball with my nephew and his friends, you know. But anyways, so my sister was going on a trip with her friends that she met on Clubhouse, and they were all gonna like meet up and have like a girls trip, and she said it was by the beach or on the beach, and I was just like, you have to take me with you. You have to take me with you. And so she like said, okay, checked with the girls were cool with it. So a weekend came, we went out. Was it even a weekend? It was like a Thursday. I think it was like Thursday. And so we went to Fort Lauderdale, and oh my gosh, we get there. Number one, I thought that we were just going to like bars because they wanted to drink, and I was just like, okay, like I'll ride with, you know. And I knew there was a chance we would go to the beach, so I was just like, okay, like I want to go. And so we went to Fort Lauderdale, and we get there, we park. Apparently the dude that was driving, which, pay attention people, the dude that was driving, he was drinking already, like while we were driving. I was like, okay, well, that's another level of drinking and driving. But I thought it was just wine. And yes, it's still not okay to drink wine and drive, but I just figured he's a bigger guy. He'll be fine, you know, he'll be fine. And if you're somebody who gets like anxiety waiting to see what happens, okay, we didn't get hurt in a car accident or nothing bad happened in the car. But anyways, he was already drinking. I found out that it was like straight alcohol, like alcohol. So it wasn't like wine he was just sipping, it was like hard liquor. And so we park, and we're walking to over the tracks to get to where the strip of like bars and clubs are. And I'm still thinking that we're going to, you know, a bar, but I'm kind of just flowing, just going, you know, with the flow. We get to this one club, and I'm just like, I really don't want to go in here, but whatever, like, this is where they want to go, like, whatever, you know. Speak up for yourself. If you don't want to go somewhere, you don't have to stick with them, the people you're with, like, go on your own, you know. But, and normally I would have, but for some reason, like, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stay. And so we're waiting in line, and then we get to the front for them to check our IDs, and the guy says that he wants to, the one guy that we're with, so it's 3 girls and 1 guy. So let's say Becky, Billy, Bonnie, and Cindy. I'm probably not gonna remember those names, but so Billy, I'm pretty sure I named him Billy. Billy says that he wants to get a table, and so we're pulled off to the side so he can decide what it is that he wants. And he's like, "Are you drinking?" I'm like, "No, I'm not drinking. Like, I'm good." And then one girl was already drunk and high, and so she was like, "No, I'm not." And I think her name's Cindy, I don't know. But so she decided that she wasn't going to drink, on the outside at least. And then he was like, okay, it's gonna be $20 per person for the table, and or the section, whatever he was trying to do. And I was just like, he wasn't making a decision, so I just like removed myself, and I'm like standing off to the side. And it was like hot over there. I didn't really know any of the music that was playing in there. Like, I could hear it from outside. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to even go in there. And I'm off to the side, and this girl is like talking with me. forget all the names I gave you. I'm just gonna name her C. So C came and she was talking and she was just like, he's doing the most, like I don't even want to go in here anymore, like I'm just over it. And because he was like not making a decision, and he was also trying to make us pay. And I was just like, well, just chill, like, you know, see what happens. And then I look over, and these guys are like, you say you got it, so, you know, show it then, show it. And they're talking about a gun. I'm not saying verbatim what they said because I don't fully remember word for word, but he's like lifting up his shirt. He ain't got nothing on him, but it's like 3 guys are going towards him. I don't know what happened before then. I'm just seeing this, and then next thing I know, I look over again, and this man that was alone at the moment was on the ground, and 3 guys one by one came and like kicked him in the back, kicked him in the head, was kicking him in his stomach, and you know, just kicking him. I'm like yelling, I'm like, stop. And then one of the girls, M, was like, I'm renaming everybody, I don't know if I said it already, but M came and she like put her arm around me and she was like, just chill, like that's none of your business, just chill. And then I was just like, no, like I have to do something. And then she was like, no, that's like none of your business, you don't jump in guys fights, like just chill. And then the next thing I know, I'm over there by the fight, and I'm like pushing these guys off of this guy so that he can like get up. If he chooses, and I'm thinking in my head, if he chooses to fight, like again, that's that, whatever, it is what it is. But I just want him to have a fair chance. I just spit. But him being on the ground like this, getting kicked in, I cannot sit here and just watch this. I can't sit here and know that this is happening and not do anything, right? And so I went over there and like pushed everybody, like pushed them all away from him. They like just naturally went. It wasn't even like they were still trying to like go against what I was trying to like stop them and do. It was just like they moved. They just like scattered, but not like far. And they were still like right there, but they like stopped. And then M was like right by me, and then she was like, girl, and like trying to get me out or whatever. And I was trying to remove myself now too, because now he's standing up. But the one that was getting beat up, he kept going the same direction that I was trying to go to get out. And I'm like, okay, I'm done here. Like, I need to get out. And then finally I got out, and M got out as well. And the girls were like all mad at me. I'm like, no me importa. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just watch this happen. And then they're like, girl, you can't be jumping into fights. That's none of your business. Like, you can't jump into guy fights. Like, you could have gotten hurt and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, they don't know me. Like, this is my first time, hanging out with them, like, just us. And, you know, they just don't know me. And so I meant to add this, but later on we were all talking about it. And I had to explain to them, like, look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I just sat there and watched somebody get their head kicked in. Like, you don't know what somebody's on this planet for. He could be here to make a huge difference in the world. And even if he's just here to live his life and not make a big difference in the world, like, I can't sit here and watch somebody or know that somebody is getting hurt and not do anything about it. And they were like, you could have gotten, like, hit in the face. You could have gotten hurt. Like, there was another girl there that must have jumped into a fight because she got hit in the face. And I was like, look, and because they were mentioning a gun in the beginning, they're like, you could have really gotten hurt. And I was like, look, I know that God has me, and at the end of the day, if I'm like fine with sacrificing my life to protect another person's life, I don't need to know them. And that's just where I stand. At the end of the day, regardless of what happens, if I get hurt or not, I'm gonna help. I can't put my life before somebody else's. I just can't. And so if I would have died, I would have died. It is what it is. I would have been with God. I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. And if I just got hit, like, it is what it is. I will survive. But it's like none of that happened. They moved away easily. And so, yeah, stand up for people. Like, help people out. Don't just sit there and watch or turn a blind eye. I don't remember his name. I think I named him Billy. I'm going to stick with that because I don't remember his real name. But Billy was like, look, he pulled me off to the side. Look, they've got my card on file. I need you to mind your business and don't get into any other fights. Like, just mind your business. That's none of your business. They got my card on file. And I'm like, I just start laughing. like literally laughing, because I'm just like, bruh, you're worried about your card being on file and not this dude getting his head kicked in by 3 people? Really? I was like, bro, move, please. Just get away from me, please. And he like goes away or whatever. Then this dude is like, was that your boyfriend getting beat up? And I was like, I don't even know that man. Like, I just couldn't sit here and watch. Everybody's just watching. Like, I'm not the type. Not the type. So anyways, we get into the club, and the whole time I'm there, the music, number one, is way more hood than I am used to. I like a mixture, okay? I like a mixture. And even now, I don't listen to any of that music. I'm literally always listening to worship or gospel, like Christian music now. And so when I'm in here, I'm just like, oh my God.
And death and money and murder and guns and black and money and murder and sex.
I go to the bathroom, I don't know how many times, to pray to God, because I'm just like, I am not supposed to be in here. I don't know what to do. Like, if I'm not meant to be in here, please, like, make it to where no matter what, like, I leave. And I just kept going to the bathroom to pray, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then they put throwbacks on, and I go to my old ways, and I start shaking my butt. But I'm shaking my butt in front of like the girls. Like, I'm in to where it's not like my butt is exposed like how it used to be, where like anybody can just see me. Like, they can see me from the front, but they can't see my butt like moving or whatever, you know? And I was like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I can't help it. And so that's another reason why you probably shouldn't go places where you don't belong. But I'm like jigging, and then I stopped because I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this, and then also because I didn't know the music that was playing anymore, so it wasn't like hyping me up to where I'm like, oh, I need to dance. But I mean, I was like doing a little 2-step, you know, like that, but it was just like, you know, to, you know, enjoy the time. I was making sure not to nod my head, because somebody told me nodding your head is like in agreement to what's going on in the music. So I was just like, you know, I don't know. I was just like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Next thing I know, a man goes in, bop, gets my cheeks. And I'm like, sir. So I stop, and I'm like, do not, I could have handled this differently, you know, still been like nice about it, you know. But I'm like, do not put your hands on my butt. And I cursed. And I've been trying not to curse anymore, you know. And I was just like, I was pissed. I was like, do not put your hands on my butt. And then he like sounded like he was trying to defend himself. I don't remember what he said. So I had my cup of ice. I set it down, and I said, do we have a problem? And he was like, no, my bad. I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Now, the girls, I thought his hand was just like on my lower back, like, you know, trying to like hear me or whatever. Apparently he touched my butt again, but I don't remember feeling that. So maybe it just looked like he did, but he didn't actually. But then the girls, 2 of the girls I was with, C and N, were just like getting all hype in his face, like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, chill, it's cool. He apologized. I forgave him for it. It's good. And then she was like, nah, she said to put your hands on her, and you're still touching her. And I was just like, really? I didn't notice. And I feel like I would have noticed. So maybe it just looked like he did. But they were like all mad and stuff. And I was just like, chill. And then this man comes over, one of his friends, I guess. And he's got like one arm. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but it was interesting to see. But he's got one arm, and he was just like going off at my girls. And I was just like, what? Like, what is happening? And then this dude comes over, because 2 of his friends are like standing there already. And then another dude comes over. He was like, he don't even want y'all. I started laughing. I was like, bruh. And I'm talking to him just like this. I was like, bruh, how do you know anything? You just got over here. You don't even know what's going on. He was like, because I know he don't want y'all. He don't want none of y'all. He not trying to talk to none of y'all. And I'm like, okay. And I tell the girls, I'm like, chill. Like he said, like, sorry or whatever, like, it is what it is. And then later on, that dude with the one arm came over, and he was just like, apologized for how he acted or whatever. And I was just like, all right, cool. Dancing some more, like, you know, just doing my little 2-step. I didn't shake my butt again, but then another pop, feel that. I'm like, what is happening? Normally when that happens to me, it's because I'm twerking, and some girls are okay with their butt being touched while they're twerking. I've never been the type. Never been okay with it. It's always been a problem for me. But I wasn't even like twerking in nobody's face for them to be like, ah, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I was confused. And this probably was God telling me like, girl, get up out of here, you know? But I didn't listen. Because I didn't think there was anything, you know? Like, I thought it was something, but it wasn't anything that pissed me off enough to leave just because I've experienced it before. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to remove myself just because, you know? But anyways, I was like, bruh, why are you touching my butt? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you just touched my butt. Like, let's stop the cap. Like, you know what you did. And he was like, oh, my bad. I must have bumped into you because I was going to walk that direction. Or I was walking that direction. I just bumped into you. That was a lie. I don't care what he's saying. That was a lie. And so the reason why I felt like that was a lie was because he never walked that direction again. Like, for the rest of the night, did not move from that spot, which was like right by where we were. So it's like, okay, if you were walking and you accidentally bumped into me, why are you not walking no more? So that's why I was just like, he lying. He like tried shaking my hand, but you know, like, I don't know where his hands have been. So I was just like, I forgive you. And then he like got all pissy with me because I wouldn't shake his hand, but my fist was there to fist bump him, but he didn't see it. And then he saw it and he was like, oh, all right, cool. Like, you know, we cool. Just like laughed it off, whatever, right? Anyways, later we're leaving out of the club because now it's time to go. The girl M, who said she wasn't going to drink, she continued to drink. And that guy that was the driver, Billy, he was drinking so much, doing the absolute most in there. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not driving with him. So either we're catching an Uber if he won't let me get the keys. So I was the only one sober, the only one that wasn't drinking at least. And he wouldn't let me get the keys. And they kept trying to convince him he wasn't going for it. So anyways, we leave out. Next thing we know, there's like bop, 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 bop. These are fights. A bunch of different fights breaking out. And I'm just like, what is happening? What's happening? And so I just start praying over everybody, like telling them, saying like, God, please watch over these people, remove these evil spirits from them, remove any anger or hatred they have in their hearts right now. Like, you know, just watch over them and calm them so that way they can, you know, just enjoy their time and, you know, just praying. And then two of the girls were talking to these guys, one of which is the second one that touched my butt. And one of them, they were like, oh, he was saying, the one that touched my butt was saying like, oh, he's the sober driver, like, you know, he's the DD. And then I was like, oh, cool, like, you know, I'm sober too. And he was like, nah, I seen you in there drinking the whole time. I was like, sir, that was an ice cup. Mind your business. Because just because you see somebody with a cup in their hand does not mean they were drinking. If I'm telling you I wasn't drinking, I wasn't drinking. I know you don't know me to trust what I'm saying, but I really don't care. And I just said, sir, that was an ice cup. I wasn't drinking. He was like, okay. I was just like, okay. I mean, you don't have to believe me. It doesn't change the facts. Like, it literally does not change the facts. So anyways, fights still keep breaking out. So I keep on like praying over people. I'm just like, this is wild. Next thing you know, we hear that there's pepper spray out there. So the girls are like, let's go into this pizza place. So, you know, we don't have to like worry about any of that. So we go in there. And at first I wasn't trying to because I was still trying to like watch over everybody kind of thing. And I went in there and there was this dude sitting down at a 2-person table. And I was like, is it cool if I sit here? Because, you know, I'm vegan, so I'm not eating any of that pizza anyways. He was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, he was like, and I sat down. He was like, I'm just waiting for my Uber. It says that he's going to come here soon. I was like, okay, did you have a good time tonight? And he was like, yeah. But my friend apparently bought a bunch of coke, like a lot of money worth of coke, and was like sniffing it all, and now he's like threatening to kill himself. And so I'm trying to like hurry up and get over there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what was your friend's name, or what is your friend's name? I'm gonna pray for him. And then he told me his name. I stopped and I prayed for him, and like as I was finishing up, I heard him say, oh, my Uber's here. And then he was like, thank you so much, because this man was on the verge of tears, like worried he was gonna forget his friends. So I was like, I originally asked him, I was like, oh, are you here by yourself? And then he was like, I was with 5 other friends, but this happened. And yeah, he like leaves out, and I was like, I'm praying for you and your friend, like everything's gonna be okay. He was like, thank you so much. And like he leaves, right? Billy is in here still acting a fool, like being all dramatic. And I was like, can I get your keys? And he like wasn't going for it. And then I was like, okay, well, we're gonna take an Uber then if you won't give me your keys, because we're not gonna drive with you, you're drunk. And he was like, I don't give an F, like yelling in my face, I don't give an F. And I was like, sir, please do not speak to me like that. You're disrespecting me right now, and I need you to stop. Don't speak to me like that. And I said just like that. And he was like, I don't care. I said, thank you. He was like, I don't care. I don't care. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We're just gonna, go ahead and get an Uber. Then I go out of the pizza place, like I'm right by the door, and there's another fight breaking out, and I'm like looking around the corner, but C, based on my actions previously, was not letting me go. She had her arms around me, and she's like, I'm not letting you go because you're not getting into another fight. I said, I'm not gonna fight anybody, and I'm not gonna get in the middle of a fight as long as it's fair and nobody's on the ground getting hurt, And then she's like, nah, I'm not letting you go. And I'm like looking, and there's like two guys against one, and they're like hopping around, like, going like this, and then like they kind of like back off each other, and then this guy comes over, and he's like with that one guy, and he was like, I got you, like, like, what's up? And they're like bouncing around ready to fight. And then they start doing that one, I don't know what kind of, but it's like, you get your leg up and you're like doing all this stuff and like, fighting all like with like kicking in the air. And when the dude did it and he got punched in the face, but like he still kept going or whatever, and then all of a sudden it like started going around the corner, so I couldn't see anymore because she wouldn't let me go. But then I end up like, right outside the pizza parlor, and this guy like comes, I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm like talking to him while he's eating his pizza, and somehow we get on the topic of being Christians and how he was like said that he's Christian too, but he like strayed, and he was like asking me questions of like, oh, like, are you abstinent and stuff like that, and I was like, yes, I am. And then he was like, I was, and I fell off, and like, it's just like expressing to me like how he's been struggling and he's trying to get better with himself so that way he can come back to God. And I just explained to him like, sir, it doesn't work that way. You trying to do it on your own is like literally impossible. It's impossible to be fully at peace and to be out of sin on your own. Like, we need God for that. God is the one that's going to get you out of that. And he was like, I know, like, and he's like telling me his story, how he got baptized and all of this stuff. And then, he just went on the wrong path, and he's just trying to get back on the right path. And, I prayed for him, and I just kept telling him, like, you need to go to him in your mess. You need to go to him in your mess, because that is the only way. You know what I'm saying? So I was talking to him about it, and then from the corner of my eye, I'm seeing this guy. He looked like he was drinking a lot of water to throw up, but I guess he wasn't. And then I also saw this really cute guy, and then the guy that I was talking to, he like went over and was talking to somebody else, and so that's when I went over and I like talked to the cute guy, and I was just like, what's wrong with your friend? Like, he's trying to throw up? And he was like, no, he got pepper sprayed. I guess he was trying to break up a fight. And because he's like a stocky dude and he has cauliflower ears, looking like they probably thought that he was gonna fight. And I was like, oh, I broke up a fight today too. I'm grateful like it didn't go that way for me. But he was just like look, it's like people are taking it too far. Like, if you're gonna fight, whatever, I'm not about that life anymore. But if you're gonna fight, it is what it is. But like, enough is enough. If you're pounding somebody's face in, like, come on. And I'm just like, yeah, it's wild until we are leaving. But I'm just thinking like, bro, it's like being in an altered state of mind allows the evil spirits to come in. And so if you are somebody who's ever like fought and you just like kind of blacked out and you don't really know what happened, or you're just like blinded by rage, or you just like blacked out in general, it's like, do you ever even think of where that like came from? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like these evil spirits are taking over, and then you don't care, and the next thing you know, you put yourself in a position and there's no going back. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, be mindful of your consumption, because when you're in an altered state of mind, when you're no longer in control, that is an easy way for evil spirits to get in you and do whatever they feel like doing. which is usually evil. Pretty sure it's always evil. But yeah, so then we're like leaving. The guy still won't give us the keys so I can drive. And then what you call it, so the girls order an Uber. I'm trying to get my backpack out of his car, get M's stuff out of the car because now she's like really drunk. And so yeah, and we're like waiting on the Uber, and the guy like Billy leaves, and I prayed for him before he pulled off. I'm like, okay, he'll be fine. He leaves, then he comes back. He's like, y'all really not gonna like, you know, get in the car? And we're like, no, we're good if you're not gonna let me drive, because I didn't have a license to show him like proof that I'm a good driver or whatever, so he wouldn't give me the keys. So then he was like, how do y'all know so and so? He's talking about M, but he says a different name, and I was just like, I don't know who you're talking about. He was like, her, you were just touching all up on her butt. And I was like, excuse me, sir, the only time her butt was on me was when she put it on me. I wasn't just touching on her butt. Like, what are you talking about? And I know her through my sister. And then he was just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then he still had the alcohol in the front seat. And I was just like, hey, do you want me to put this in the trunk so you don't have any worries? He was like, look, you don't have to come at me with that conscious stuff. Like, I'm conscious. Like, you don't need to hit me with all that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so you don't want me to put it in the trunk for you? And he was like, nah. Like, all mad and like skirts off, right? And then we realized he has her phone and the Uber's here, and we're getting in the Uber. And I'm like yelling to him like, hey, you have her phone. He stops, and then right when I'm coming up onto the car, he skirts off. And then we see him up ahead, pulled over to the side. None of us know his number, and so he's pulled over to the side, and we think that the Uber gets stuck at a light, so he can't like go straight to him. And by the time the light turns green, like right before the light turns green, he like pulls off. So it's just like, okay, well, it is what it is. You don't have to like worry about it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like that was like, I don't remember it ever being like that. Like, I've been in a position where I literally saw somebody with a gun. I've heard gunshots. Like, you know, I've been in bad positions, but I never saw it from like, I don't know, I want to say the outside, just because like I've gone places sober, but I've also gone places drunk. And it's I've been that person who just blacked out and in a fight, just blacked out and was just like, you know, beating somebody up. And I've just been in bad positions, and I'm grateful that God got me out of them, and I'm grateful to be where I am now. I know now that like I probably will still go in areas like that to like low-key preach the gospel and you know, pray over everybody. I'm not gonna like force anything on anybody, but like, you know, if a conversation comes up like that did with that guy, then I'm gonna preach the gospel. But I'm just like, my best friend is like, oh, you need to go out, you know, into areas like that more often, because, you know, I was like just spreading God's word. But it's just like, oh my gosh, that was overwhelming. Like, it was just bah, 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 so many fights. Just like, I'm like, all these people are drunk, you can tell. All these people are drunk, and they're just pissed off. And it's like, I don't know. It's wild. The evil things happen to innocent people because the devil wants to break those people down. And he knows that they can do so much good for God and for the world. And if he breaks them down and puts them in a position to where they feel worthless, then they're going to do things like that. They're going to either not feel worthy enough to help other people, or, you know, help themselves, or reach out to God. You know, they're gonna, I don't know, they're just not going to be able to do what God put them on this planet to do until they go to him for help. And all people are like, why do good things happen to bad people? Or why do bad things happen to good people? And it's like, because the devil is present. Evil spirits are present. And we have free will. So if we have free will, we're able to do whatever we want, and we choose sin because we're of this world, then that's how it's going to go. Evil, like bad things are going to happen. You may think that, oh, you're not a bad person, and you might not be a bad person, but if you're sinning, you're bringing in evil spirits. And sinning as far as lying, being deceitful, having sex before marriage, like doing simple things like this, which is like what a lot of people do, that invites the devil. and that invites evil spirits. And so bad things happen, and the devil's trying to stop us from preaching the gospel. The devil's trying to stop us from having a relationship with God, but we're stronger because we're children of God. So reach out to God, read his word, and follow as best you can. Just ask God to remove you and replace you with him so you can be a better person. Being a good person is not enough. You need to know his word. You need to invite him into your life and have a relationship with him, because that is where you'll find peace. Because just because people have money doesn't mean they're at peace. Just because you're really broke and does not mean you have peace. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like God is what brings the peace. So I invite you to reach out to God and create a relationship, read his word, and connect with other people who are on the path of following God. Because bad things happen to good people, because there's evil out there. The devil's trying to stop us. Don't let him succeed. He won't, because at the end of the day, God is stronger. God is powerful. And yeah, I pray that you seek him. I pray that you receive peace, and I pray that you forgive yourself and others for anything that has happened in your life. And I pray that you have faith that he will help you overcome any obstacle in your life. Just because you find God does not mean that everything's going to be Oreos and peanut butter. Things are going to happen, but no matter what, you're going to learn from them and you're going to overcome them because you have God by your side. I pray that you continue to break free from your limiting thoughts and behaviors and seek him. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and also hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I do upload a video. I know this was long, so thank you for sticking to the end. Check out my other videos. Yeah, I hope you stay blessed, stay strong, and seek God. Thank you. Peace.
All growth, not an ego. I wish that you could speak to these motherfuckers.